What up, YouTube? Jay Riz here. I got another guest on the show this week. If you guys don't know who I am, they call me Jay Rizzo. Real name is Jared. I started this YouTube channel to promote recovery. You know, hence the name Recovery Warrior. I started the channel just to to see where I can go with it, and it's growing thanks to you guys out there, and I'm getting more and more guests on, which is pretty cool. You know, the recovery community is pretty big. Some of us might be in the background, but it's becoming more prone, you know. I mean, if you actually want this lifestyle, it's within grasp. So with each guest I have on, you know, they have a unique story, which is awesome. And today I asked Elena and her partner Jasmine to be on, so you guys are gonna hear their story. You know, if you guys like what you see, hit that like. If you wanna see more, hit that subscribe. Without further ado, Elena and Jasmine.
Hello. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my recovery and, you know, how I came to be where I am today. I guess I started seeking recovery first time in 2017. It was the last time that I had actually moved back from Mandaree. I was in Bismarck, Minot for a couple months prior to that, and ever since then, I just kind of been trying to find a different way or find something outside of the res. But ever since I went to rehab in 2017 into 2018, I did go to treatment. I went to a rehab center first, and then it was sober living. And then after sober living, it was just more of like trying to get on my feet and trying to stay away from the res, but...
No, the res, which res are you talking about?
Oh, Fort Berthold.
Fort Berthold.
So I keep saying the res.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm from Fort Berthold. And I did catch an indictment. I don't really talk too much about like that indictment because I'm like trying to put it behind me and just trying to live my life in recovery, and it wouldn't be what it is today, though, if it wasn't for the MHA recovery team and probably a year into being clean. I was living with my brother, Venancio, and he was the one who kind of took me in because my PO was basically telling me that if I didn't find a place to reside at that time, I would have been on U.S. Marshal hold. And that makes a big difference in how my life would have been. Like, I wouldn't have had anything to show for what I was doing with my life had my PO not taken a chance on me back then. Because for 2 years of my life, I got to become a house manager for sober living. And when it was actually in this house in Short Bowl. It was a Nani before they created Short Bowl for it. But prior to that, it was like, there were so many suggestions that were given to me when I was finding recovery and, you know, learning the ropes. And it was basically like just little things here and there that my brothers in recovery would tell me. You know, 'cause I got siblings who had been in recovery and had created this environment for themselves and whole new circle of people that they surrounded themselves with, and getting a job and being able to just contribute to the household. That's basically what it was for me. It became like a guideline to live by, given by my probation officer, but it ended up being something that I just live by today. You know, being able to be employed and hold that job down, and then it was contributing to the house that I live in, paying my bills, and trying to make financial amends. But in that first year of recovery, I was kind of like bouncing back and forth between sponsors and working the steps, and it took me a while, but I finally got to.
So let me ask you a question. Why were you bouncing between sponsors? Like, what made you do that?
But it was mainly just trying to find somebody that I can relate to, somebody that I can really connect with, and I just wasn't really connecting, it felt like.
Okay.
But in the end, I think it was just me. Really, because a lot of it was just like me not wanting to hear what I needed to hear.
Being stubborn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's a lot of what it was, you know.
Yeah.
But when it came down to going through the steps and stuff, you know, I had a really great sponsor, and I ended up getting some sponsees, and it was pretty good, you know. And it still is, you know. I started over.
You have the same sponsor today?
No. I just got a new sponsor,
cool.
and starting over on the steps again. You know, I kind of backed away, like to be honest, like it's something that I didn't really shed too much light on, and it was more of like because of a trust issue that I have, or something that I had going on, you know. And it's just something that I need to open up more about, and it's just something that I can't give up on, is, you know, because these steps, they do work, being in recovery and working with other people in recovery, and
because we're stubborn bastards,
yeah.
Tell me what to do. I try to be vulnerable,
yeah,
so to speak.
and yeah, I don't know, man. That's basically how it was. But yeah, from like 2017, 18, you know, I went to rehab, came back, it got bad, it progressed, and 1920, I caught an indictment. When 2019 rolled around, the end of the year, it was, you know, my apartment got flipped upside down, and I got caught up, and I finally got arrested. And it had been 24 hours since I had last used when I got arrested. Like, I was about to close my eyes and go to sleep, and the drug task force came in and got me, and then that's where it started. Like, the recovery from then, when I got to Good Road, after a bed opened up in Good Road in August 2020, 4 months of that went by, and then it was snowing out, and my mom passed away, and it was probably like one of the hardest things that I had to go through when I was getting clean, you know. Like, back then, like, I'm not even gonna lie, it was hard to get through that really clean. But I'm grateful for like the circle that I had when I had to let go of like all the people in my life, and I ended up working at McDonald's, and then, you know, I stayed in touch with Good Road even after I got out of treatment. Stayed up with my aftercare, my case manager, and whenever, I think I was recommended, because I got a phone call one day from somebody on the recovery team, and, you know, it was one of those things, you know. Jarrett Baker got a hold of me and had asked me, you know, like, do you have a sponsor? Are you working the steps? And, you know, asking me all the questions that are, you know, that they're looking for in somebody who's in recovery, going to meetings, being of service, all that stuff. And it just, you know, it turned into being a part of the recovery team and being a house manager. I went on to be a house manager for like two years and some change, and then it was time for me to move on, and I ended up getting my own place. I ended up getting into a relationship with Jasmine. We've been together for almost a year. Yeah, we met last summer and started hanging out, and later on at the end of the year last year, we moved in. She moved in with me, and we have a dog. You know, we live in a little tiny space, and, you know, we go to work, and I transferred departments, and now I still work for the recovery team, and I get to be a transporter with the point of contacts, which is pretty good. You know, I like my job and I enjoy it.
What is a transporter?
So a transporter is somebody that helps with the clients or the residents of MHA Recovery, MHA Sober Lodge, and those who need to get to treatment, or we pick them up from the jails, or basically we help out with getting them to and from these destinations, such as IOP services, or if they, you know, some of the residents in sober living will even get a hold of us and, you know, say, hey, you know, I would like to go to Big Book or something, you know, and, you know, some of them aren't even,
Nice.
you know, some of them transition out, just like I did, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that it's really inspiring and encouraging, you know, encouraging other people to kind of have that is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole transporter and point of contact department is something that, you know, I'm really grateful for those that I work with. And it's different. It's definitely something that I'm kind of trying to sink my teeth into.
So now that you were a house manager, you went to the recovery team. Obviously, you're still in the recovery team. You went to point of contacts. Is there opportunities for jumping like departments and just moving around? Like, do they offer that?
Well, that's kind of what it seems like. I did take, you know, if we want to move on to something else, you know, they will offer us something in that light.
Yeah.
Because like say a transporter wants to move from Bismarck back to the res and back to Fort Berthold or something, and then it goes from there.
Nice.
You know, it's a flexible job for me, and I'm grateful that I get to be a part of it.
Yeah. The recovery team.
Yeah. And yeah, but recovery has been good. I've definitely created some stability and, you know, created a healthy relationship with others and my partner. We recently got engaged.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we got our rings.
Awesome.
We got our rings right here.
Any talks of a wedding yet?
No, we planning on a 2-year engagement.
Okay.
So I mean, just being that like we're trying to find a bigger place, different vehicle, and I'm still working through my probation.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah, but
that's cool though.
But yeah, in just a matter of like 4 years, because I'm coming up on 4 years on the 11th of June.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking it. That's cool.
So like that's basically like what life has been like in the past 4 years. Like it was treatment, holding down a job at McDonald's, and then just, you know, I hopped on the recovery team, and like there was a few times where it got tough for me because it was all new and it was just a different way of life for me, and it was definitely a lot of growing pains in it, but you know, I definitely have been able to just like kind of float through it after a certain point in time.
So today, what do you do to like remind yourself that you're in recovery?
Well, I get little reminders because every now and then I'll get a message from somebody, or somebody will get a hold of me that's seeking recovery. Sometimes it's family, and it's huge when a family member reaches out, especially, you know, if they want help. You know, I try to, you know, try to share with them my experiences and what resources are available, you know, in helping them, especially if they're like, you know, because I don't consider just Fort Berthold enrolled members as my family, but you know, I just try to share my experience and just try to kind of, you know, take them to a meeting or something like that, you know, just take them out of that dark place.
Yeah, we got brothers and sisters out there who ain't enrolled members, and you know, we want to reach out to everybody who's looking for recovery. You know what I mean? And this is a good spot to do that, you know.
For sure.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
But in that, I transitioned out last October or August. Our lease is almost up, and you know, we plan on getting a bigger space and just moving on up.
Yeah, doing the deal, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds good. Well, that's awesome. Is there any closing words you want to say? Are you done? Like, is that all you pretty much have to say to our viewers out there? Or did you want to say any shout outs, closing remarks to anybody out there?
Just, you know, I'm grateful for the MHA Sober Living and the whole entire MHA recovery team. And if anybody that is enrolled, you know, if you want help, you want to get clean and find a better way, 701-421-8869 is that MHA hotline. And if anybody, since we're doing shout outs, if anybody hasn't heard of Medicine Horse Creations, I want to shout out my brother Vinny. Venancio.
Yeah.
He's got a Facebook page. Go check him out and give him a like.
What was that page?
Medicine Horse Creations.
Right.
He's self-made. He's self-made, and he makes woodworking, and go check it out. You'll see some of the stuff that he's done. He's got videos and pictures, and
you guys will see him on the channel. I'm gonna get him on now. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I'll put his link down in the description too.
Yeah.
his sites and stuff. So you guys make sure to check him out. Medicine Horse Creations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to get him on the channel too. So awesome.
Well, I suppose turn it over to Jazz.
Awesome. Thank you, Lena.
Yeah.
So we have Jasmine coming on, Lena's partner. She's gonna tell us about her recovery. So without further ado, Jasmine.
Hey everybody. I'm nervous. So my sobriety date is 4/20/21.
Nice.
It came to a point, I do consider that my sobriety date. I know that some people have, consider sobriety days different, like the day they surrendered or the day they got out of prison or jail. But that was a day where I completely surrendered to everything, including my entire life. It was at a time in my life where I had absolutely lost everything: my house, my car, my kids. My relationship with my family was really strained. It wasn't soon after that where I was picked up on a federal indictment. And that's where where my journey began, because I wasn't sure what I was gonna do or what I wanted to do or what I really wanted. I just knew that I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. I was so sick of my shit. I was eventually transferred. I was in Burley-Martin County, and I come across girls all the time who were there on federal indictments and stuff. And I think I was about maybe 8 or 9 months into my pretrial where they started suggesting going to sober living, because it was already at that point where it was too long for me to even go to treatment, because I knew I needed help. I didn't know where to ask for it. So I asked my attorney, and my attorney sent me several applications. I kind of looked them over, kind of sat on it for a little bit, and I only filled out one of them.
No, you were in jail at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only filled out one application, and the marshals had me bouncing around from facility to facility at the time, and the sober living couldn't get a hold of me for the longest time. And it wasn't until I came back to Burley-Martin County, I received a phone call from my attorney, and she let me know that they were trying to get a hold of me. But my court date was really soon after that. So I went through my court hearing, and I got sentenced for 3 years probation. I went to a halfway house for a while, and I had my interview for the sober living at the time. I kind of waited around getting a job, and 5 days after I had been released and sentenced, I moved into my sober living. And at that point I had 11 months of sobriety under my belt. But my first year of recovery, I actually didn't know if I really wanted this thing. So I kind of started sticking around. I started going to meetings. I started doing all these things that the sober living is asking me to do. I get a sponsor, I get a home group, I get a commitment at this home group. Just like Elena, I kind of bounced around with sponsor to sponsor too as well.
Yeah.
And I noticed that with every sponsor that I got, I had a lot of trouble trying to get honest. I had a lot of trouble getting honest myself. About 6 months into the sober living, into this recovery life, I noticed something that was bothering me. I had a lot of pain. I was suffering, even being sober and clean from everything.
Yeah.
And I was up and I'm like, oh, okay, this is why they tell us to go through the steps.
Yeah.
You know, I finally clicked a couple months into it. And I found this amazing sponsor, and she got me through the steps the first time. And I finally felt that relief from going through the steps, and I'm like, okay, like this is what is offering to me. And slowly but surely, I kind of started seeing change in my life. When I first was released, I had no idea where my kids were, who they were with, how they were doing. I was barely talking to my family. But when I started doing all these things that the sober living was, suggesting that I do, I started working at this job, which I eventually became a manager of.
Yeah.
I got a car, and then I got a hold of my kids.
Nice.
And I'm very thankful for that because, I was very scared about who was watching them and who they were with. But I have a really great relationship with the foster parents today.
Oh, nice.
They're such beautiful people. They're the people that I have been praying for morning and night.
Awesome.
And my kids are very well taken care of. They have like tons of brothers and sisters with them too. I get to see them at least once a month.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing journey, really.
Yeah.
I have a sponsor that I'm with now, and she walked me through the steps the second time around. And it's been an amazing thing, when I do everything that's suggested when she tells me to do things.
Yeah.
And I know at times when I don't want to hear the truth and I know I need to hear it. And she's not afraid to give that to me.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little after 9 months at the sober living I was at, I was asked to step up as a house manager.
Nice.
So I did become a house manager for close to 10 months. And I stayed there and I helped guide other women into recovery as well. And it's a beautiful thing because I'm really glad that I made that decision at my sober living. At my sober living, it's completely voluntary. We don't get paid to do that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I dedicated a majority of that year in my recovery to help guide these women.
Yeah, like service work almost. Huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's all service work for us. We don't get paid to do that, and we get a lot of attitude and pushback and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that I did it, and I was able to help those girls. And I still get to do that today. Even after I moved out, one of my sisters in the house became a house manager too. And I'm able to go there and I'm able to train new managers. Nice. And I'm able to just sit down and visit the women at the house, and it's a really beautiful thing. I still get to have that front row seat and watching them grow. And I have a good relationship with the men's house too. I get to see my brothers become managers, and I get to visit them, and it's a beautiful thing to watch all those miracles come true.
That's cool. So you're like leading by example now, huh? Kind of like Elena did. Like this too can happen to you guys if you put in the work.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's a beautiful thing to watch because sometimes even being so far in recovery, because I just got 3 years in April. Sometimes
past April.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Sometimes, I get selfish and I start thinking, I don't think I'm making an impact still.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was surrounded by all these beautiful people, and then I am not living life now and I don't think I'm making an impact. But it was just the other day, one of my sisters called me and hey, one of the women need help. Yeah. They're like, you're the first person I thought of, that has been through this similar situation, and I'm glad that I can offer that experience, and reassure them we will be right here with whatever decision you make.
Yeah, it's so easy to get relaxed in recovery, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just get on cruise control, and then all of a sudden, you get hit in the face with something, and oh shit, I got to do something, you know, to recharge my recovery batteries.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens. Like little God chats, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like calling them God chats. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely big growing pains. I had went through something similar. Like I used to struggle with the idea of what the program had offered. It was the God idea, you know,
Oh, yeah,
and I think many of us have
Yeah.
struggled with that. And somewhere in my recovery, I became sure-footed that, you know, that He was always going to be there, even when I do feel disconnected. We had recently lost someone in the community a couple weeks back, and I had been struggling with that grief.
Oh,
And I had actually,
did you blame God?
I was mad.
You were mad?
I was mad. But I feel like if I had made my God big enough, He could take that anger,
yeah,
you know.
That makes sense.
But I had stopped doing everything. I had stopped meeting my sponsees, my sponsors, and my meetings and stuff. And it was a really tough week for me. And you know, at that moment, and like I knew what I had to do. And I was very lucky. Someone had got me a free ticket to the Recovery on the Plains.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, okay, you know, I got to get out of this funk now.
Yeah.
I got to get out of this funk. And I had a very beautiful weekend, just full of recovery. And then the following Sunday, I had sponsee meetings back to back,
Oh.
and then a half a fifth scheduled, and it was like a beautiful thing to do. And but I'm really glad that I can recognize that. Like I know that being in recovery and knowing that I have a higher power that can get me through anything.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Because a lot of things that I have went through, I didn't think I would make it.
Right.
I used to think that I couldn't do any of this, but you know, even after losing a friend, I'm like, I know what to do.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
You know, that's crazy because the reality of it is like, especially now with fentanyl, like you can go just like that. And it's scary, man.
Yes, it is absolutely scary, and you know, and I like to constantly remind my sponsees of that. You know, it's a life or death situation when we go back out there.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not going to be mad when you do go back out there.
Right.
You know, there's no shame in going out, but there's shame in coming back.
Yeah.
But we
exactly.
want you to come back.
That's what I remember my sponsor telling me, because I had an incident where similar to that, and I asked him, you know, what do I do? And he's like, we don't shoot our wounded. And I just started, you know, sponsoring. I was like, what does that mean? You know? Like now I know though, you know, we
Yeah.
don't kick them when they're down, you know, we reach down and help them back up.
Yeah.
Now I understand, but back then I was like, what do you mean we don't shoot our wounded? Like he's a wounded puppy? Wouldn't you want to shoot him and put him out of his misery? But no, yeah, fully understand now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like life is beautiful today. You know, I got this healthy relationship. I got a relationship with my kids again. You know,
Nice.
I get to call my parents and make amends to them every month and
Yeah.
every week. You know, and it's a beautiful thing. You know, at one point in my life, my dad couldn't even trust me with $100, let alone $5. He sent me to the store one day and he's like, here, and gave me a list of things to get. And I came back all proud. I'm like, oh my God, my dad trusts me.
That's great. Especially my grandma. My same thing with my grandma. She wouldn't even give me $5, man. Like, here's 100. And I'm like, how much do you want back? And she's like, it's yours. I'm like, what? What? But she already knew I was in recovery, and I was like, hell yeah. You know, it's just those promises that, you know, the promises. It's a whole different story, but awesome. So now your kids are older, obviously, right? Are your kids little tiny ones, or?
I have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old,
Oh, awesome.
and a just now turned 3-year-old.
Cool. So they're able to see the transition from you being an addiction to what you are now, you know, a recovered addict, alcoholic.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
The foster parents had told them when they got them was
Yeah.
that I was sick when
Oh, yeah.
which is true.
Yeah.
I'm spiritually sick, and
We're all sick. Nah.
you got me sick.
We just know how to deal with it.
And then I did struggle with the fact that I didn't think they were gonna remember me,
Oh,
or
yeah.
they were gonna like suppress me in some
Yeah.
way. But the first time that I seen my children, they ran right into my arms.
Cool. Awesome feeling, huh?
It's a beautiful feeling,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a blessing that I get to be there today, and they get to ask me for stuff, and I get to provide that for them.
Nice. That's what it's about. So today, what do you do for your recovery? Like, how do you maintain a recovered lifestyle, so to speak? Do you sponsor? Do you?
Yes, I sponsor an NA and AA.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, both programs.
Yes.
Cool.
And I go to about 3 to 5 meetings a week.
Mm.
I meet my sponsor weekly, my other sponsor monthly. And I go back to the sober living that I was at. And I continuously do that, and I talk to the girls, check up on them, and I get to talk to my brothers and check up on them too. And I stay connected, and I'm part of a committee that actually takes a conference back down to my hometown.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's in the Fort Yates, North Dakota,
All right.
on Steiner Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up moving there, and I was thinking about taking a meeting there, but obviously I think there's already a meeting there.
There's
Fort Yates?
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's almost a meeting every day of the week now.
Oh, wow.
Which compared to last year, there was absolutely none. You couldn't find it anywhere.
Cool. Yeah, because when I leave sober living here, my fiance is from Fort Yates, and we talked about, you know, moving in together, the same thing as you two did, and she lives in Fort Yates, and she has a daughter and husband. Long story short, I'm gonna move down there. So I was wondering if there's meetings there. If there's not, I'm gonna take a meeting there, but you know, obviously there's probably a recovery community there. It's small, but
It's growing.
yeah, cool.
It's growing.
I'll be part of that pretty soon. I'll be out of here too. But yeah, that being said, like, do you have any closing words? Do you have anything else to say to the YouTube viewers out there? Anything, shout outs?
Shout out to Hope Manor Sober Living and the 7th Generation Conference Committee, which is going to be this year again, October 11th and 12th. So free registration, y'all sign up.
Oh yeah, awesome, man! You guys are so powerful. I feel the connection. You know what I mean? This is a good thing. It's like I feel good. You know what I mean? It's like every episode I have on the guests, you know, they just bring a different vibe, and you guys are awesome. I don't know if you've seen the last one with Ryan and his wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too. It's actually fun. Shout out to those two, and you know, like I told them on there too. You know, I'll ask you guys to be on, you know, months from now, just to do a check-in if you guys would like to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, months down the line, and if you guys know anybody, you know, shoot them my way, and I'll get them on the show too. I try to put a guest on every month, and
Okay.
it's awesome, you know. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on, and you guys stay tuned. We will put this out this week, and I'll put the links in the description. And if you want to send me flyers and whatnot, you know, I can put them in the description too.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you guys again, and if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Jay Riz, real name Jared. I'm not the recovery warrior. This channel is about recovery, and we are all warriors in the recovery battle. So if you like what you see, hit that like. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe. And yeah, thank you guys for coming on. And with that, we will pass. See you, YouTube.
See ya.